third attempt, the comment section wasn't there immediately. So had to get rid of that one. I just deleted the upload because, well, what's a 2-minute video where I barely say anything and then realize that comments aren't there anyway. So as I was saying in the third video, if AIPAC is good, if the cult behind AIPAC is good, if they aren't the bad guys, why are they so opposed to me talking about it? I should be able to read the AIPAC page, the Wikipedia AIPAC page, and I should be encouraged to do it. You know, it's a summary of what is supposed to be a good organization, right? It's not like it can be edited. It's one of those uniquely blocked pages, locked pages. So it's you're not even allowed to pretend to be able to edit it. I don't care about historical narratives. YouTube hiding stuff. Didn't hide this one. Oh, Matt, I'm glad you're here. So, you've seen me challenge these idiots to make a real video showing that they're a real person and you know, get some credibility. Prove that you're a real life human being. Make the video. I get a notice today, a comment today saying, Guy Williams Sucks video is up right now. Search it, look for it. So I go to look for it. And the 4 videos made, all 4 are, well, 4 videos and 2 shorts. All 4 are like with a song on it or something that if I were to show the video, the song playing would probably get the video fucked with, right? But to think that these guys, one of the videos is a 5-minute long video where there are multiple previous videos that I've made from who knows how far back, where there are clips of me saying certain things spliced together with, you know, Israeli soldiers dancing and you know, all sorts of pro-Israel stuff. Not one of those 4 videos shows a person talking and telling everybody why Guy Williams sucks. Yeah. Isn't it funny how there's always the people here to say, oh, no, it's not true. It's not true. I got the notification. Funny how that works. Well, they tried to trap you and get you further censored. I guess I can't expect anything less petty from them. Yeah, but think about how crazy this is, right? Instead of taking the 2 minutes to just record a quick Guy Williams sucks because of 5 minutes to record, how long do you think it took them to edit together a 5-minute video with all these different clips from around the internet, along with clips from like they have all of my videos saved, I guess? So they pull all these different clips from how long do you think it took them to do that? Instead of making a quick, easy, let me talk to the YouTube thing and show my face as a real person, they put together a 5-minute compilation video. Like, that's heavy duty. That's like diarrhea, man. Thanks, Eminem. Let's talk about big, beautiful bill that passed. I don't give a fuck. It's all bullshit. No tabs on tick. No tabs. Yeah. Let's talk about the war that we're in and not the distractions. Let's talk about the fact that America attacked another country because Israel wanted us to. Because Netanyahu wanted us to. They did nothing to us. What about that part? So how is that a distraction? Gee, I don't know. How about the fact that we bombed Iran, you know, a little over a week after Elon outed Trump for being on the Epstein list? That's why the list hasn't been released. Nobody's talking about that, are they? Iran sure made that go away. And they're using Iran to cover the fact that what's continuing to happen in Palestine, which is just atrocious. If Israel is so innocent, then why can't we talk about them? It's so obvious. Why can't we talk about them? Why can't the news? What's up, Duty? What, you feeling all right?
Yeah.
Good. Why does the news, why do they prevent the news from coming in and doing actual reports on what's going on? Why are they so mad at me for talking about them? If they have nothing but good to, you know, how come when the UN in 2022 was talking about opening up the books on Israel and seeing what was going on, because instead of the temporary occupation like they said it was, it's turning into a complete colonization. And Israel responded that if they open up the books on Israel, they demonize Israel. They literally thought that was a good, proper response. Like that didn't out them. I know if you look into my past, you're not going to demonize me. I don't have anything negative in my past. Yeah, I've made mistakes, but nothing that I would be like, oh, don't tell anybody that. That demonizes me. Like it's very telling how this whole thing works. The fact that you have, you know, Donald Trump, America First Donald Trump, and all of his supporters not up in arms about Trump destroying the First Amendment. Like, that is insane to me. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom to assemble, and the freedom to redress your grievances with your government. That's the First Amendment. That's the thing that makes America America, makes us great. We're better than everybody else because we have these freedoms, right? That's what they say. And yet, Trump is destroying that over a foreign country because they literally can't do or say anything to override the, you know, the obvious criticism. You know, it's obvious. And they can't justify any of it. Well, no, it's okay that we're starving children and we're using rape tactics and we're you know, blowing up buildings as a gender reveal and, you know, all this other. It's okay that we're doing that because there is no because. Right? It's just insane. And to think like you want to fall for any sort of big beautiful bill bullshit. All we have to do is stop giving Israel $3.8 billion a year, and that's going to free up a lump sum of cash that goes out every year in January, one payment, or the fiscal year, so I'm assuming that's January. But it could be another year that they've done it. It hurts legal immigrants too. Again, if you're concerned with immigration and all that, you're just a fool. You're probably some ignorant white person who's, you know, delusional, thinking that this is your country because your parents and grandparents had sex here. I'm sure if you ask the Native Americans, they don't want you here. But that, you don't want that part. You're not cool with that part. Well, no, my grandparents did it legally. Yeah, according to the system that stole it to begin with. Gotcha. At least if you believe the history you're given. And you're all upset because of all those immigrants that want to come in here and work. Every construction, every labor person, anybody that deals with anything like that knows that the best crew is always the Mexican crew. Always. They do the best work. They do it fast. They don't fuck around. You know? There's never any incidents. There's never anything. But of course, you're mad at the people coming over to get a better life because the channels are closed to them to do it legally. Not the people that are hiring them, instead of all those white people lining up to take the strawberry picking job. You know that's out there. And fuck yeah, we want to pay the strawberry pickers, you know, minimum wage and give them all the proper stuff so that strawberries now cost $18 a basket. That makes so much sense. That makes all the sense in the world, right? But this is, you know, again, you want to talk about the illegals getting all this benefit, blah, blah, blah. We should be taxing them and this thing. We could double tax the illegal immigrants, all of them, and it still wouldn't account for the amount of money that we give Israel every year, either directly or indirectly. Because again, there's the $3.8 billion cash infusion, but then there's all the grants and everything set aside. So like when you hear stories of Israel buying $16 million worth of weapons from the United States, well, they don't even pay for it with the money that we gave them. There are special grants set aside to accommodate for that. Or they take from like hurricane relief or something like that. I saw something where they were talking about how they took from hurricane relief in Florida or something to be able to give it to Israel. Like it's just insane. And then there's the memorandums of understanding. Well, that's the 3.8 billion, and then there's the other memorandum of understanding that says Israel is to have the largest military, the quantitative military advantage, meaning they have to have the strongest military by a set amount an arbitrary set amount that they just decide. And if anything offsets that, we, the United States, is to provide them with what it takes to get back to their quantitative military advantage. And so you have the Abraham Accords, which are these normalization deals, which, you know, it basically, it's why you're not seeing all these Muslim countries coming to the aid of the Palestinians, because their leadership has signed one of these Abraham Accords. And the Abraham Accords were these they're called normalization deals. Good luck finding any information on them. I've tried many, many times. But the normalization deals are, Israel wants to be able to go to Qatar. It wants its citizens to be able to go to Qatar for the World Cup. Previously, they didn't have that ability. It was all shut down. They want them to be able to go there without visas or anything. They want it to be this open travel, supposedly back and forth, but it's really only one way. And it also opens up all these trade lines and blah, blah, blah. So in order to facilitate this deal, the United States steps in and offers Qatar this, that, and the other. One of the things, again, they have to have is the quantitative military advantage. So let's say we give Bahrain, I don't know the exact number, but we gave them a bunch of fighter jets. Let's say we gave them 20 fighter jets, F-35 fighter jets, so they would play nice with Israel. Because we did that, and because of the QMA, the Quantitative Military Advantage, Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, we then have to give Israel 35 F-35 fighter jets to offset that we gave Bahrain 20. Like, it's shocking how obvious this all is and how well documented it all is. But this is how this works. And I'm not a free Palestine guy, because I don't know what free Palestine means. I don't think Palestine's ever been free as far as we know about it. You know, Pre-2023, they weren't free. Pre-2006, pre-1983, pre-1967, pre-1948, pre-1918. Like 1918 or 19 is when they became the British. It was as a result of World War I, they became British Mandate Palestine, which is how they facilitated, step 2, which was the hoax, the Holocaust, and then the excuse that what supposedly happened in Germany means the Palestinians now have to give up their land as a payment. Like it's really, it's so dumb when you just think about it from a regular perspective. Like, how does it even work? Why would they agree? Germans are the ones that supposedly did it. So why do the Palestinians have to lose out? Other than because Germany's like cold and, who wants that? Right? You want that nice paradise, that Palestinian paradise.
That was fast.
That's what she said. But this is, so they facilitated it. They made British Mandate Palestine, where they for 30 years had the Palestinians believing that they were safe. Don't worry, you don't have to form a military. The Brits have you. We've got your backs. You don't have to have a real government here. We've got you fall under our government. We've got it. So in 48, when the Brits were turned around, they didn't leave. They were turned around. How can Israel take over Palestine when Israel doesn't exist? Where did they have all these troops? Where were the troops training? What command did they have when they didn't exist? So what military could they have had? Obviously, it was the Allied military that did the dirty work. Obviously. Right? Sorry, guy, it won't let me say anything other than normal words, so it keeps deleting my comments live. Remember, just use numbers for your vowels. Like, so you have, the World War I was the initial setup. World War II was the excuse, and that's how they work. They play the long game because they can afford to. So it doesn't work out exactly the way you want it. You live a really privileged life until that does happen. You're untouchable. You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. Unfortunately, what you want to do involves children all the time, so that's fucking fucked up, but you're allowed to do it. Really helping them do. If somebody isn't here talking about fucking kill these pedos and fuck bad guy land for what they're doing, genocide and all that, they're probably a bot. I mean, it's that obvious, right? Just desperate bot bullshit trying its very best to interfere. And I'm not going to do it again, where we prove, Naftali Bennett proves that they control Wikipedia. So then we use Wikipedia, which is their source of information, to show you that Team Jorge is the digital side, the bot side of things. Act IL is the personal side of things, but both things exist to attack people like me. Act IL had some 15,000 plus users when it was taken down and moved to social media, where it just blew up, I'm sure. Team Jorge had over 30,000 fake profiles in 2022, and Team Jorge was just one Israeli Black Ops organization. There are many, many, many of them. And they all use the same software packages. 35,000 bot profiles across all the different social media platforms. That's how you build people you want built and tear down people you want taken down. We've proved everything already. The burden of proof is on these idiots. Well, they proved it today. The fact that the first time somebody actually brags about having made the video, it turns out to be a 5-minute compilation clip that clearly took a lot longer than 5 minutes to make. That didn't show a person. Didn't even have a person in the background. Just stupid shit, like as obvious as it gets. And it's crazy to me that they actually approve that shit. Like that they're all sitting there so stupid. I just picture like a whole bunch of Stimpies just all in a line. And then one Ren yelling at them, "Hey, that's a good idea." And they're all like, "Oh yeah, that is a good idea. Make a compilation video." He keeps saying, make a video. What? At least just hire somebody. Hire some person of color to say these things, and then just at least make it believable. Instead, you're gonna do this. You're gonna make it this obvious. Has anybody ever had a 5-minute compilation video made of them where they use old videos of yours that they clearly have saved, and then all these clips from throughout the from the internet, a bunch of different clips that they obviously either searched out or had saved as well, and they put together a compilation? How long do you think that took them to make that? 5 minutes? That's some obsession there, boy. That's some freaking crazy obsession. And every single one of them thought that was a good idea. This will get him. This won't make him look any better. Anything else could have happened. It could have been somebody that even I was like, hey, that guy kind of looks like it. I don't know, maybe. Where he's not even obviously a bad guy. It could have been one of you that doesn't quite fit the bill. You could have gone with that. And instead you went this route. Like, it's just shocking to me that you would be this stupid. I can't imagine. I would be so embarrassed if I was you or if I was in your crew. How anybody thought this was a passable idea, this was the best thing to do, is just shocking. Who the fuck is that stupid other than them? If you open up the books on bad guy land, you demonize bad guy land. That's the rocket surgeons we're dealing with. Once I see an honest comment, you'll get a genuine reply, bots. But you can't do that. There you go. You would think, like, just that in itself, right? You would think there would be somebody that was able to respond in some way. And instead, all they're going to do is keep proving it. Yep, it's schizophrenia. We always say the same dumb thing because apparently we're not smart enough to know what schizophrenia is. You saw me talking to the other people here that weren't actually here, you might have a point. But the fact that you're not even smart enough to get your name calling correct. It's just fantastic, man. It's fantastic. And you have to look at it. Like, how does anybody not see this for what it is? These are all people desperately trying to get me to stop talking about genocide and stop pointing out, you know, the conspiracy. They made a 5-minute video because I don't matter. How many times have I been told that I don't matter enough to make a video? And instead of making an easy 5-minute video of them just talking shit, they make a compilation with clips from who knows when. It's so great. I mean, it's like, I want other people to see it. Look at this shit. Look at this. Oh, they're gonna accusing Matt of ignoring evidence. None of which is shown. The evidence is you being here, refusing to address the things being talked about and trying desperately to get attention, proves the point. Doesn't matter what time of day I go, doesn't matter which day I go, you're always here begging for my attention because I'm wrong. If this doesn't scream bad guy land, I don't know what does. Like, this is how they operate. Let's delve into AIPAC a little bit here, just to fucking blow your minds, right?
Stop it.
AIPAC is the pro-Israel, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee is the pro-Israel lobbying group that advocates its policies to the legislative and executive branches of the United States. They advocate their policies. It is one of several pro-bad guy land lobbying organizations in the United States, and it has been called one of the most influential lobbying groups in the country. 3% of the American population is one of the most influential lobbying groups in the country. How does that make sense? AIPAC was founded in 1954 by Isaiah L. Kenan, I don't know how they say their names. I thought it was Hanan, it's Hanan, so Kenan, maybe? A lobbyist for the bad guy land government, partly to counter negative international reactions to bad guy land's Kubaya massacre of Palestinian villagers that year, where in response to supposedly a woman and her 2 children being killed, they killed 69 people at least and burned all these houses and just fucked up this whole village because they claim that a woman was killed. I mean, just insane. So AIPAC only became a powerful organization during the peak of its influence in the 1980s, sure. And in 2002, AIPAC expressed intent to lobby Congress to authorize use of force in Iraq. That was in 2002. In 2003, the Iraq War was defended at AIPAC events. In 2005, a Pentagon analyst pleaded guilty to espionage charges of passing U.S. government secrets to senior AIPAC officials in what became known as the AIPAC espionage scandal. Like, just think about how fucking crazy this is. Like, it's not even like some hidden secret. It's this obvious. Right? It's this obvious and it's fucking crazy. If my belief in submarines is more important to you than who controls your government, the reason we're at war, blah, blah, all these things, then just go watch the first part 1 through 9 of Submarines Aren't Real. We talk all about submarines not being real, and you can get your little fill and you can debunk everything I have to say. Because I'm just making up crazy shit, right? It's not real at all. Who's at war? Not us. We didn't just attack another country for no reason. We didn't just, initiate an act of war at the behest of a psychopath. It's fucking crazy, man. It is fucking crazy what's happening. And it's all here. You don't have to go look at Alex Jones's dumb bullshit. You don't have to go into Illuminatis and New World Orders and all of these breadcrumbs that they leave out for you. All you have to do is talk about the one thing you're not allowed to talk about. I would have a huge feed if all I talked about was the Illuminati. Nobody would give a shit. There's a lot of guys out there that make a really good living talking about the Illuminati. But for some reason, talking about this one thing is against the rules. Why do you think that is? No, they're never using wars. Again, why are so many people concerned with that over the war aspect of things? Over the genocide aspect of things? Over the pedophilia aspect of things? It seems like the submarine argument is a much easier argument, right? Because it's not, it's not controversial at all. Nobody says it. Everybody has just sort of accepted this idea with literally no proof. And so it's an easy argument. Everybody knows that submarines exist. You've seen fucking Hunt for Red October. You've seen, I don't remember, what were those dumb movies in the 2000s, like Super Sub or whatever it was. You've seen every goddamn Marvel movie, and you've seen submarines your whole life. You've seen Batman cars that can turn into submarines and just You accept this idea like you accept airplanes. They're the same thing to you. You just forget to acknowledge the fact that these are wingless airplanes flying through billions of pounds of pressure, water, pushing from every direction. Like it's so dumb. But this is way, way more concerning to you than the fact children are being killed. They're being starved to death, actually. Like, what could be worse than being starved to death? That has to hurt something fierce and just take such a long time. Your body just eating itself. They also are dropping bombs on people who are inside of tents, who have had everything already taken from them. I think that the sickest aspect of this is the fact that the victims have to take food, the aid that comes to them, from the fucking people that made them victims to begin with. And from a group of people who are known to poison things, who are known to put explosives in pagers, who are known to do these dastardly things. I can't imagine having to choose between potentially poisoning my children and letting them starve. They need food, and the only food that's allowed to come to them has to go through the people who made you need food to begin with. That is so fucking sick. that is some, you know. And then the idea of like having the people all come to a certain area, all like it'll be the area in the middle of a crater or in the middle of a square or something where machine gunners can be in all different positions. They let the people come get the food and then they open fire on them. They don't even get the food to begin with. The fact is, this isn't like a one-off. This has happened multiple times. And the people that are supposed to represent us, the government, just doesn't seem to care. However, if you criticize that whole thing, well, you're going to get deported. You're going to get deported. You're not allowed to criticize the killing of children. You're not allowed to criticize genocide in this regard. But it's just phenomenal. It's so goddamn scary. You know, and the craziest part is, like, I'll forever say it. Like, it's not about, we're not talking about a race. You can't convert to a race. Right? Everybody that's associated with this is a, you know, it's a choice being made. I know you're raised in the cult and all that stuff, but anybody that were to say, look, I don't agree with this cult. I think we're all here together. No one is born superior. No one is born chosen. To me, that's a hero. I've never met anyone like that. But, you know, like, to me, they all have the option. Like, why don't you denounce this disgusting cult and support your fellow brothers and sisters? Like, we're all just here together, right? And instead, because of one group of people, like, doesn't it make Mel Gibson? Remember how Mel Gibson got pulled over and for some reason, within hours, the video of him being pulled over and what he said was all over the place? How did that happen back then? You know, oh, he was so awful for saying what he said, huh? He's a complete Hamas supporter. Hell, fuck yeah. If Hamas was a real thing, I would absolutely support them. Do I think they're real? No. No. Hamas only shows up when needed. Just like Al-Qaeda, just like ISIS. With their brand new white Toyotas. You know. And all of that they can somehow get all sorts of military stuff. They just can't get food or medicine or any of that stuff smuggled in. Just military stuff. But prior to the October 7th false flag, 2023 was setting up to be the deadliest year for the Palestinians since, you know, 2006 or whatever, 2005. Where by October, I can't remember if it's 243 or 273, so I always go with 240 as a conservative estimate. 240 Palestinians had been killed in the raids that were happening every night at like 3, 4 in the morning. They would just come kicking in doors, shooting. And they took thousands and thousands of people hostage and killed at least 240 people by October of that year, by October 7th. So if you're one of these big, you know, bad guy land has the right to defend itself, which is, it does, he's in the window. It's one of the dumbest phrases ever uttered, right? Well, bad guy land has a right to defend itself. Like nobody does. You know? Like there's anybody that's doesn't have the right to defend themselves. Of course you have the right to defend yourself. But you attacking people is not you defending yourself. And so if it was real that as a result of what had happened, because 2022 was the deadliest year for the Palestinians since 2005, just like 2021 was the deadliest year for the Palestinians since 2005. Every year the death toll had been surpassing the years before it. So to think that they finally somehow got their paragliders together, they got their paragliders together, and they were able to put together 5,000 rockets that were launched within the first 20 minutes. So that's 4 rockets per second for 20 minutes. Somehow Hamas was able to not only procure the expensive rockets, but the rocket launchers as well. They had all of this stuff that they somehow were able to get one time, because they haven't been able to do it since, that's for damn sure. But they somehow launched 5,000 rockets in 20 minutes, 4 rockets per second. And they didn't hit anything. All of it was shot down by the Iron Dome. Because when Israel shoots rockets into Israel's airspace to the agreed upon coordinates, then of course they can shoot it down with ease. And it makes it look like they have this super awesome Iron Dome. It's impenetrable. But the attacks from Iran showed you that it's bullshit. When they're actually attacked and it's not an agreed upon place, their shit doesn't work nearly as well. But they claim that around 1,100 people in bad guy land were killed. They also claim that almost immediately 1,500 Hamas were killed inside bad guy land. You know, because they could just identify Hamas like right off the bat. But then they claim that around 1,100 people in bad guy land. They didn't say 1,100 Israelis. They said people in bad guy land, which is not how they report. Again, if you haven't been paying attention, if you started paying attention after October 7th, then you don't realize it. If you've been paying attention for a long time, you know that they don't do that. They always refer to themselves as, bad guys right off the bat. This amount of bad guys did this. They always do that. They don't refer to themselves as the people of bad guy land. But they claim that around 1,100 were killed, and there's literally no proof of it. The only proof that was provided was a list of names. And the whole funeral thing, knowing how they do their funerals, that I always tell people, you got to look up the Samantha Woll story, W-O-L-L. It was here in Detroit, and it was October 21st, 3 weeks later, that a bad guy-ish community leader, this woman, was found dead in her front lawn, stabbed to death a bunch of times, between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. on October 21st. And this is literally one of the craziest stories I totally 100% encourage you to look it up. Samantha Woll, and what they did to poor Michael Jackson Bolanos, at least what they tried to do. And then because they couldn't do it, they sentenced this man to 18 months to 25 years for, quote, lying to police. If you can show me another person that's gotten a crazier sentence, I'd love to see it. 18 months to 25 years. This guy doesn't know whether he's going to go home for 25 fucking years because he lied to police, supposedly. And that was all they could actually get to stick. And it was like some stupid bullshit. He told the truth for the most part. It was just some stupid bullshit. Does that make any sense to you? And her boyfriend actually admitted to doing it, but then he was given immunity and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Still don't know who actually did it because Michael Jackson Bolanos was found innocent. Was found not guilty, despite the judges and everybody's best efforts label him with hate crimes and all this other shit because, you know, one of them gets killed and it's immediately a hate crime. It doesn't matter if it was a robbery gone wrong or what, it's a hate crime. But the craziest part about that story is that, you know, found dead between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. on October 22nd. 6:30 is between 5:30 and 6:30 seemed to be a pretty. On October 7th, the attack was said to have happened started at 6:30 a.m. on October 7th local time. Funny thing, the first Wikipedia edit for the Israeli-Hamas War 2023 page that I looked up on November 7th was made at 6:26 a.m. Or wait, 6:22 a.m. Sorry, 6:22 a.m. So 8 minutes before the thing started, the first Wikipedia edit was made. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? But Samantha Wool, 5:30, 6:30 a.m., found stabbed to death on her front lawn. The newspapers on October 22nd, the morning newspapers, less than 24 hours later, talk about how beautiful her funeral was and that over 1,000 people attended. How do you have a funeral for someone who was found dead? You don't have any suspects or anything. The whole thing is this unsolved case. How do you have a funeral for that person within hours of them being killed? Like how do you even have the hole dug, the gravestone, all of it? How does that happen within a few hours? And how does that override police procedure? Isn't there an investigation that needs to go into place? Isn't there an autopsy that needs to be done to check for all sorts of evidence and everything like that? Like, I know you might have your religious practices, but how do religious practices override police procedure? That don't make no sense.
Is he sufficiently tired?
But the same.
Are you sufficiently tired?
The same shit happened with the supposed synagogue shootings. Remember? When this guy called Robert Bowers Jr., who nobody ever saw, who lived at a transient hotel, he was a trucker, who the landlord never actually saw him. His rent was always paid in cash in an envelope that was just there in the morning. No one in the apartment complex that he lived in saw him. He doesn't have any sort of social media footprint. And yet, in January of 2018, he just appears on Gob, which is supposedly the white supremacist Facebook. Never heard of it. But he appears on Gob talking bad about the Jays. And he posts a few different things periodically, and then he gets some pistols, and he takes a picture of the pistols. And he says, I'm going to be doing something. And then one day he says, all right, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going to go do something about this. And you'd think, like, if this is the white supremacist Facebook, you would think it would be being watched. And anybody that shows any sort of inkling to do something negative, they would be, arrested. Especially if they say, I'm going to go do this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the agent, the fake Liam X-Mail. He supposedly got into an argument with the head person at YouTube. The CEO of YouTube was sending emails to that person, and stupid ass made some threats, and he got arrested. The FBI swooped him up at a coffee shop, and he disappeared for over a year. Just like that. For making threats against the YouTube. Like, what kind of stupid ass does that? I think they just pulled him out. I think he was cracking and they pulled him out. I don't think he was real. Sorry, guys. I mean, this whole thing is information based, right? The reality is, if you look up any narrative that you've been given, you're going to have questions. It's not going to be as cut and dry as you think. And you're going to find a bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense. The San Bernardino shooting, that shit makes no sense. It's the craziest, dumbest narrative. Like, it's such a bad narrative. And you just wonder how they got away with it, but it's because nobody ever even bothered to look into it. They blamed the killers on these Muslims, and I guess that was enough to shut the average, white Christian truther down. There's this great movie called Route 51, I believe. It's about the Las Vegas shooting, and it's done by Mindy Robinson. God, I wish I could have it out with Mindy Robinson. She's so smart in some regards, but then so dumb in others. It's how she's a female Christian Trump supporter. And it's like, how are you able to ask questions and look at the Las Vegas shooting and make such an amazing documentary about how clearly that isn't what we're told? What we've been told is not the accurate narrative there. And yet, you're talking about, we need to go back to the time of our forefathers. Well, you're a female. In the time of our forefathers, you'd have been shut up completely. You wouldn't be allowed to be the character you are, that's for sure. We don't need to go back anywhere. If anybody had it right, it would still be that way. We haven't seen anything that's gotten it right yet. Oh, wait. This AIPAC shit, I forgot where I had gotten to the last time. And actually, I think I read a lot of it, like some of the most important bits. And it's just shocking how obvious this whole thing is. And how they just, like they complain at one point. It was a big deal because Soros gave $1 million to an anti-AIPAC organization. $1 million. And, to your average blue-collar, regular person, $1 million seems like a lot of money. In the next line, they're talking about how they planned on spending $100 million on a certain election. On all the candidates that they were gonna, support for this upcoming election. They're crying about $1 million and bragging about spending $100 million. which is actually really telling because they understand that even $1 million into exposing them is going to do way more damage than the 100 million supporting them can achieve. Like they're actually worried about it. They know that if we do this, if $1 million is spent exposing them, there's nothing they can do to combat whatever that $1 million exposes. There's literally nothing they can say that's going to make them look good, which is why they don't. Which is why the only thing that happens is they tell us not to talk about it. They do everything they can to stop us from talking about it. Because there's nothing that can be said. That's why they've made it illegal. Because they know they can't say anything. It's really fucking crazy. You know, there's not an AIPAC representative that could come on here and make any reasonable points for anything they do or say and justify it. That's why you'll never see it. That's why the only thing you see is just dumb ass fucking crybaby shit over and over again. Trying to paint me as the bad guy. If I smoked all the meth and I ate all the crack and I, smoked all the pot and I shot all the dope and I drank all the alcohol and I beat my wife and beat my children and I kicked my dog and, all these horrible things, that doesn't affect you. If I did all those things compared to AIPAC, there is no comparison. What I do affects me and mine, and, whether you think one thing or another doesn't really matter. But AIPAC affects everybody watching us. Every single person watching this is affected by this shit. Doesn't matter which dumbass side you think you're on. Oh, I'm on the left. Oh, I'm on the right. I voted for this side. Oh, I voted for that side. When you understand that in 2016, that AIPAC brags that their AIPAC policy conference that's held every year is second only to the... I don't care. I don't care. Is second only to the State of the Union address for how many American delegates and government officials and whatnot attend any one conference. The only time more bipartisan people get together and attend one conference, one meeting, is the State of the Union address. Nothing else even comes close. And in 2016, you had both Trump and Clinton as guest speakers, and both of them didn't trash each other. They both professed their allegiance to Israel. And, no matter which one of us wins, and we wish the other one good luck, you have our support. When that's the case, you should be bothered by that. It doesn't matter which side you fall for. Obviously, if they both work for the same organization, it doesn't matter which side you fall for. The WWE makes money whether you support Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant. It all goes to the same group. Or for you younger people, John Cena or Cody Rhodes. It does not matter. They're making money off of both.
Yeah, but didn't you say you could have full verse to that stuff I want to
Dude, I have no idea. I'm not interested right now. Sorry. This is just crazy that this is how this works and that we just accept it. We outnumber them tremendously. They make up 3% of the population. 0.183% of the world's population. That should not control the rest of us. The other 99.8% of the population should not be controlled by 0.183. Like, that is fucking insane. Stop hurting the dog. He's whining. Dogs only whine when they get hurt. Does anybody really think that there are good, upstanding, red-blooded Americans that are on this page right now going, man, I hate this guy who thinks we should kill pedos and stop giving money to a foreign country? God damn it. What's wrong with that guy? Like, this is just crazy. It really is fucking crazy that this is how this whole thing works. And it's so obvious. And they have us fighting each other as their cover. That's how it works. That's how it always works. Every time, shit starts getting bad for them, they initiate a world war. Every time the people start waking up to who actually runs the show, it's like, uh-oh, we better distract them. We better get them fighting each other, killing each other, hating each other, so that they're not focused on us anymore. This is how this shit works, man. Just look at the history. Look at what was happening in governments and in their perspective. And they're also at the same time to establish the situation, to establish Israel. The two main wars, the world wars.
Stop hitting our dog.
Hey, it's what I do. I'm a dog hitter.
Making him dying and shit.
Yeah, the billionaires and millionaires, not the scary immigrants. Well, they don't care about that. They're stupid. They think that we would get more money taxing the people picking strawberries than we would if we started, I don't know, taxing NFL, MLB, NBA. These multi-billion-dollar organizations that are tax-free. Or how about we tax the churches? Oh, we can't do that now, can we? It's just insane how distracted people are, and how you can tell who they are by their distraction. Anybody distracted by anything that has to do with borders and all this other bullshit, these are just racists. They're just racists who finally found a way to be racist without being held accountable. If you think that the biggest problem is those people picking strawberries not being taxed enough, because they're definitely taxed. Everything they buy is taxed. And they don't make as much money as people who do get taxed by the system. So they're taxed in that regard too. Not to mention all the bullshit they have to deal with all the time, just so they can work. I mean, look at all this bullshit. Look at the bullshit comments. Look at how stupid they are. They cry about some shit, and then if I address it, then they just start crying about something else. It's just crybaby shit.
What is your real name?
For those that don't understand what we're up against, those dumb enough to say stupid things. Let's do this real quick. I often forget to do this because again, I'm so used to it that I forget, right? I forget you guys aren't. So we're gonna look up Semitism definition because this word has been weaponized. Semitism has been weaponized, right? So we're gonna. Oh wow. Well, that was weird. Merriam-Webster didn't pop up. Merriam-Webster is usually the first thing, and it didn't pop up the first time.
Semitism.
Okay, no funny business going on here.
Semitism.
Merriam-Webster. You know, Webster's Dictionary, the thing we all rely on. Number 1A, Semitic character qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to bad guys. Do you guys see it? Policy or predisposition favorable to Semitism page. Merriam-Webster. You guys see it? It's weird, it won't work.
Semitism.
There you go. See that?
Semitism.
Okay, there's no questioning anymore, right? No funny business going on. Policy or predisposition favorable to your group is supremacy. That's what supremacy means. Policy or predisposition. The rules and regulations and the perspective in which people go into things is favorable to one group of people over everyone else. Why? What did they do to earn such entitlement, to earn such prestige? You know, the thing is, you're never going to see my opposition doing anything to the contrary. They're just going to make 5-minute compilation videos about how awesome I am. You know, it's really fascinating. I don't know how I'm supposed to think that I'm not having an effect on things when this is the case. Like, this much effort, this much energy going into me. If I'm doing something wrong, why is it? Isn't there better things to do? Especially than come here and make yourself look stupid? Make yourself look like the pedo you are, the fucking genocidal motherfucker you are? Man, that's wild, man. I'm so mad about that video that I think it's hilarious and I'm sending it to everybody I know. Yep, I'm mad about it because it proves me right. Like, what? How does that video do anything other than prove me 100% correct? It would just be too obvious if they made the video themselves. Now I think they'll probably do it. After I gave them the idea to hire somebody, they were like, oh, duh, why didn't we think of that? Because you're not very smart. But just look at what's going on, man. It's insane. Oh, this guy's clearly autistic as hell. This is how desperate they are. They're starting to throw around shit like that like it's a funny joke, right? like it's a burn. It's interesting how angry so many people are because I think we should kill pedos and stop giving bad guy land so much money and power. Who the fuck is going to think that way other than bad guy pedos? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Even prisoners, like you go to prison and you're outed as a pedo, you're the trash. All the prisoners hate you. All the prisoners hate the people that hurt kids and shit like that. It's universal. It doesn't matter what color you are, what situation you're in. If the worst people in the world find out you're a pedo, they gang up on you and fuck you up. That's why they have to keep them in nice protected cells. Can't put them in general pop because they'll be in danger, so we have to protect them, right? Absolutely crazy. Yes, I am crazy. We should not be killing pedos, and we should not be eliminating the genocide and therefore the J control. Nope, that's crazy. Why am I not making videos where I'm trying different foods and being like, woo, that's vile, that's vile. That's what we want to see. But then again, I better make sure I title it, I am tasting different food because I'm going to rate it. Because if I titled it anything else, well, I don't understand how titles work. If the title says this, then it had to be about that, right? Don't watch the movie Naked Lunch. Tell you that right now. Even The Simpsons did a gag about that one. Bart Milhouse and Nelson went to the movie and they walked out and Nelson looked up and said, I can think of 2 things wrong with that title. Wait, when you go to Walmart, are you bothered that they don't sell walls?
Oh my gosh. That must be just...
Right, they must be like, what the fuck? Where are all the walls? I came here to buy walls. I went to Meijer and I couldn't find any Meijers. Where were all the Meijers at? I don't even know what a Meijer is, but where are they? Well, you called it that. I drive down the road until I find a sign that says gas station, because I went to this one place thinking I could buy some shells, and they didn't have any shells for sale. Why are they going to call themselves Shell and not have any shells for sale? I don't understand how titles work. Fucking stupid. Bought these tickets. They were super expensive, right? Couldn't believe it. But I was like, man, I really want to see some people on stage smashing pumpkins. So I bought these tickets. Turned out it was a band playing music. What the fuck? I tried to go get my money back and be like, hey, this is false advertising. I didn't see a single gourd on stage. But they didn't give me my money back. Fuck yeah, Google just went by.
Seem to come by often, don't they?
No. It's the first time in forever. Did they shut the comments off? I think they might have. Nobody loves Israel, but the way you wear things are ill-informed and disrespectful as hell. Yeah, talking about that genocide. How disrespectful of me. Hate to talk about all that pedophilia. It's funny, actually, the Dan Blazarian guy, whatever his name is. There's a clip of him actually talking about it with these chosen hosts that and these guys are just idiots. And it's Matitza Bapay, actually. Matitza Bapay. I thought it was Bipa, but it's Bapay. I learned that. Matitza Bapay. And you should look that up, because it's fucking disgusting. But yeah, it's clear I think they shut the comments off. So, I'm not doing a 5th try today. You got me at 5. I'm done. So have yourself a great day. Don't forget to get your free download, www.the-bilderberg, BILDERBERG Fuck, man. You guys just have no idea. No idea. I'm wiped out after this every day. You just have no idea. Free download, www.the-bilderberg, BILDERBERG-group.com. It'll ask you how much you want to pay. Just click 0 or donate. We appreciate the donations, but you don't have to pay anything. It's all free. All we ask is that you share it with someone. I'm going to leave you a link to the greatest film, the most important film ever made, the most important piece of film ever fucking made. It's called Hollywoodism. It's a link on YouTube. Go check it out. It will explain everything to you. And the best thing is, they made it. It's not us. They made this movie bragging about how they control everything and how they used Hollywood, because you could essentially say the American dream is the bad guy-ish dream. And I'm also going to leave you 3 links to our newest songs. 3 out of the 4 newest songs. Sleight of Hand Job is the newest one, and Donald Trump hates America, and COVID sauce. Go check those out. Make sure you search the Guy Williams Sucks, in the thing. Search that shit and check out the Guy Williams Sucks videos that have been made. Those are fucking fantastic. I'm gonna share them myself, so at least one of them. So go check that shit out. Have yourself a great day, and most importantly, you pedophiles, kill yourself.